Hey, welcome back to It's Erik and Matt here at San Diego Comic Con 2016, joined by our friend Brian Shea from Game Informer. Brian, we haven't given out your information, plugs or stuff for people to follow you. Where are you at on Twitter, Snapchat, all that stuff?
Yeah, it's just Brian P. Shea, S-H-E-A, on every medium.
Across the board?
Like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter.
Xbox Live?
Oh, no, Xbox Live, it's actually just B. Shea.
Okay.
I was able to get the easy one on that one.
Well, you're going to get some friends now on Xbox Live.
Good.
Because there's some people that listen to us that love to play games.
Oh, yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah, I know. So,
really? Our audience?
Some are Opie and Jim's audience. Some are just people just want to tell us that we suck.
Yeah, whatever.
It happens. We're here at San Diego Comic Con having a good time. Lots going on. Lots more to do. One of the things that have been added over the last several years to the culture of Comic Con, at least with San Diego, you'll see it more now in New York, are the parties. They've become a bit of a Hollywood spectacle, if you will. That's how important some of these parties are. And it's also important to find out which are the good parties and which are the okay parties.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a regular patron to the Comic-Con where you just are going to shop, maybe go see some panels, you're camping out for Hall H for some reason, and you're not doing interviews like we're doing or press or stuff like that, you're just there to have fun and enjoy the con. You want to find some of the parties that have the free food and the open bar.
Right.
Because it saves you a lot of money.
We've done several of these.
Right. And chances are a lot of times you don't get invited to the bigger parties. Now, because of where we are and what we do, I don't know how it happened, but we got invited to some of the bigger parties. I know how it happened, thanks to our friend Roland.
Thank you, Roland.
Thank you, Roland, very much. One of the parties was the Sonic 25th anniversary party, which was at the House of Blues. Now, last year I did the big Orphan Black Clone Club event.
Right.
Where they did a whole bunch of stuff on stage. The cast was there, and then I got to talk to everybody individually. We were set to go. We got there, and the line was split into two different directions, wrapping around the entire building. And Matt and I just looked at each other and said, this is not going to happen.
No.
We are not going to wait in this line. But Brian had VIP access, and he got in, and he had a good time.
I did.
Give us a quick rundown of everything that happened at the Sonic party.
So basically they had an itinerary starting at 7 o'clock. So the doors opened at 6. Starting at 7, they were going to start doing things on stage. So they had the guy who runs their Twitter account. If you follow the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account, it's unbelievable. It's just memes and poking fun at things. It's pretty much no holds barred social media, and it's unbelievable. They don't hold back at all. It's great, and it's probably the best Twitter account to follow in the game industry. So I'd recommend that. I think it's just Sonic_Hedgehog.
All right.
But anyway, they had the guy running that host the night. And they just kind of had different people in Sonic's history come out.
I saw some video clips uploaded. Was there a band performing?
Yeah, so that was in the middle of the night. The band that plays all the music from the Sonic games all the way since Dreamcast. It's kind of like a power metal band. It was just the guitarist and the singer, and then they had backing track behind them, which was kind of disappointing. But they were still the singer sounded great. The guitarist sounded just like he does in the songs, when you listen to him in the game. So it was really cool. The crowd was really into it. These are the songs that most of the people in the audience definitely grew up with, because that was evident when they showed a 25th anniversary sizzle reel. It was the Genesis games that everybody loves, universally. People were like, yeah! And then Sonic Adventure came out, which has been a pretty divisive game. People exploded, so you could tell kind of the age group that was there and the audience that was there. But so this was the perfect crowd for Crush 40, the band that plays all the songs, to perform, because the crowd was losing their mind.
And what was the big announcement for the night?
So they had 3 things that they revealed. I mean, I guess 4 if you count Sonic Dash, which that's their mobile game. Basically, different characters are coming to it, different levels.
Nice.
But the big announcement was Sonic Mania, and that's the new game that they revealed, and it is a retro-style Sonic game. So it actually even looks like it's from the Genesis.
Nice.
The picture, the graphics are kind of like a blend of Sonic 1, 2, 3, and CD. And they have the guy who actually took those Genesis games and ported them to the Xbox 360 and the modern consoles. He's actually kind of heading up the project on the Pagoda West side. So there's 2 development studios involved. There's Pagoda West and Sonic Team, the team that actually runs Sonic. I got to see that, and the crowd obviously was loving it. And I was like, all right, but they've done this before, where Sonic 4 was supposed to be a return to the Sonic 3 style with modern graphics. This one, could it just be this exact same like failure to meet all these expectations with just like the older graphics? And I got my hands on it, actually. I got to play it a little bit, and it plays just like a Genesis Sonic game. Like, the levels are designed in such a way, and they did a really cool thing where you are going to be playing through some familiar levels. So, like, you're playing through Green Hill Zone, which is like the first level in Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic 1. And then from there, you start going through the level. You're like, oh, I remember every single like nook and cranny of this level because I've played it so many times. But then, like, oh, there's a different path. So, like, you're in Green Hill Zone, Act 1, and then, like, suddenly there's a different path that you can explore, like, down in this cave, and then, like, you can go up, and, like, as you get to the end, instead of, like, there just being, like, the thing to jump on or, like, the signpost to spin,
right,
like, at the end of the level, there's actually a boss, like, a brand new boss at the end of the level that they've made, and it's so cool, like, tackling the same level in a different way. But then they also have new zones as well. So I played Green Hill Zone, and then I played Studiopolis Zone, which is like a movie-themed, futuristic level, which is really cool too.
That's huge. I mean, Sonic is such a beloved character and so important to Genesis or to Sega as a whole. I mean, that book, remember Console Wars we read about? Which was all about how Sonic pretty much changed things.
Speaking of Console Wars, a guy I got to talk to a little bit yesterday, Tom Kalinske, the guy who Console Wars is pretty much written about.
Yeah. It's a great book.
Former CEO of Sega.
Yeah.
And he is a brilliant man. Like, he has some incredible insights into not only how Sega took on Nintendo, but like just like a business in general. Like, he's been the CEO of so many different companies. He went from like Leapfrog, now he's the CEO of I think a company called Gazillion.
Okay.
Which I think it's the company that puts out Marvel Heroes.
Yep.
I might be mistaken on that. That's David Brevik, the guy who did Diablo. His current thing, which is like pretty much Diablo meets Marvel.
Yeah,
which,
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
The Sonic Party was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it and they also announced the Lego Dimensions Sonic stuff. They showed that off,
Nice.
and then they.
I saw somebody posted a photo. I think it was Kid Robot had a Sonic figure on a little ramp going down. Now they had 3 gold coins propped up, but he had this. It looks almost like water, but this motion. I'm trying to figure out the way they could express that he's moving fast.
Movement, yeah.
You know, circled around him as he's running.
I think that was a Kid Robot.
It was a Kid Robot. Now, was that there on display, or were they giving those out?
I think they might have been on sale.
Okay.
Because they did have a shop open there as well.
All right,
and the food there was also really good too, because they had chili dogs, they had onion rings. So like onion rings, obviously, because he collects gold rings. Chili dogs, because in the comics and the old cartoons, he always ate chili dogs.
I think we said that when we were talking about the restaurant stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? I kind of forget what you say on mic and what you say when we're not recording. But yeah, it was a really great time. They also revealed another Sonic game. It's just codenamed Project 2017.
Okay.
And it looks like it could be Sonic Generations 2, because there's classic Sonic alongside modern Sonic. And if you don't know Sonic Generations, it's just like it was the 20th anniversary celebration that they released, and it was, hey, we're going to go back and play like a classic level from every game. And there's a 2D version where you play as classic Sonic, and it's like the old school style gameplay, and then there's a 3D version of that same level, and you play as modern Sonic with the camera behind your character and everything, and it plays like the newer Sonic games.
Nice.
And it was a pretty well-received game, so fans are pretty excited about the potential of this being like a follow-up to that, because we saw both of those characters, and that's the only other time we've seen both those characters.
And what platforms are...
So Sonic Mania is PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Okay.
And then...
and not Nintendo.
Not Nintendo this time, because I think that the reason for that is the Wii U is kind of like, it seems like it's fading away, but and then we don't know what the heck the NX is.
Right.
And it's going to launch spring 2017, and then... which is both the NX and Sonic Mania, or spring 2017, scheduled currently anyway. And then Sonic 2017, the one that they revealed at the very end with just a teaser, is holiday 2017, and that's going to be PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo NX.
Okay.
So
it's really just a timing, logistics
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like it launches, people love Sonic Mania, and Nintendo NX launches, and then eventually they say, oh, we're bringing it to this too.
We'll port it over. Yeah.
But as for now, they're just announcing for those 3 platforms for Mania.
And Brian's been hustling his ass off this entire con running.
Yeah,
just
man.
like we are from interview to interview. He's doing that stuff. I know you talked to Gerard Way for a little bit about some of the stuff he's got going on and other game developers and companies. Go over to GameInformer.com and look up Brian Shea's articles. I don't know how many will be up at the time that this airs, but follow him on Twitter Brian Shea. He's usually up to date on everything else that's going on. And if he's not covering something specifically, and if you have a question, he can usually point you into the right direction of somebody at Game Informer that has more information on those things like that. So check all of that out. The Sonic Party sounded like a blast. I wish we could have got in, but Matt and I had no patience for the lines. And at this particular point, we realized our tickets did not say VIP, and yours did. So that's where we decided to part ways, my friend. Another party that we got a chance to go to was the big IMDBoat party.
Yes.
If you want to see photos of that, it's hashtag IMDBoat.
That was a really good time.
It was a great time. It was 3 stories on this yacht.
So we get on this yacht, which is the first part of this story. It's a fucking yacht.
It is
San Diego at night on the water.
Oh, wait, before
I
you
saw
go,
your pictures.
yes, before you go
Oh
any
my God!
further,
Before we get there,
before you get on all this stuff, there is a whole nother level of rich that a lot of people will never understand, and I don't think we'll ever achieve this, because the way that the lifestyle of not only of this boat, but then we were looking at the other yachts around us and the features that are on the boat and the way they were living, and we're like, Matt, this is a world that hopefully one day we'll get to, but this is such a world that 99% of the known population on this planet will never experience or never see.
I want to talk about who we ran into online.
Okay,
trying to get onto the lot.
Okay,
yacht.
So we're online and we're just hanging out and waiting to be checked in for the party. And Matt's talking to somebody. I'm looking around to see what's going on. And I'm like, oh, Matt's really having a conversation with somebody. I turn around. It's Gabrielle Carteris. You may remember her as Andrea on 90210.
Okay.
She's the current president of SAG and AFTRA.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she strikes up a conversation with me, and I know who she is, but I'm like, I'm not gonna muck up this moment. I'm just gonna enjoy the conversation. And it was just a general, like, she started joking about like what she was wearing and was it appropriate on a yacht, and like, you know, should I have dressed as Starfire in cosplay? It was just a funny conversation. And Eric looks back and he's like, I don't want to be that guy. I just want to say I'm a big fan. And then, and that just sparked a whole nother level of the conversation. But it was just nice. It was a good experience. It was a lot of fun.
After he like kind of broke the ice that way, were you like, oh my God, me too?
Yeah. I was like, right. I was like, oh, well, I looked at him like, I knew who she was. I just didn't want to say it.
And then we left to that, and then we talked radio and
we
broadcasting
did,
and because SAG is Screen Actors Guild,
right.
Guild that handles a lot of, I guess I'll say it's a union. It handles a lot of the insurance and
pension and
everything
benefits
for
and
actors if you have equity and you're in SAG. AFTRA merged into SAG. AFTRA was the union, or is the union for broadcasters. Like if you're on the air on terrestrial in New York City or in Los Angeles, certain cities, if you're on television, you're part of AFTRA. Again, pension, insurance,
right?
And then they help you out if you're treated unfairly, on a project on a film set, or somebody tries to mess with your contract, stuff like that. They kind of step in and help out with that as well, to a certain degree. So she's kind of a big deal. And she's like, oh, what do you guys do? I said, we work at Sirius XM. And she goes, oh, you're not part of AFTRA. We're like, no, we're not. I'm like, yeah, we're not. And she goes, why don't you go? I'm like, we don't run the company, but we're like, that's just not how satellite works. You know, we don't have that kind of
they have the loophole,
union.
but they don't have to be part of it.
Yeah, we're not part of that kind of union. And but I have worked in terrestrial before. I know Matt has not. But I knew some of it, so we were talking a little bit, and we wound up having a great time.
Yeah, it was nice.
We took photos, we exchanged information.
And for the record, she asked to take her photo with us. I just
Oh,
want to
wow.
put that
That is
out
true.
there.
Were you like not wanting to ask?
No, I was in that moment, and so she took the photo. It's on her phone. We don't even have the photo. I keep on waiting for them to post it.
Yes, they have it. So if you look at the SAG-AFTRA Instagram or Twitter account, we're waiting. She hasn't posted anything from last night, to be fair. So we're waiting for that
So we're
photo to
waiting
show
for
up. But
You want that picture?
Of course, I want that picture.
We're talking to her for a little bit, and then we go down the runway there, or whatever you call it, down to the boat. And we get up, and there's just a huge, giant sculpture that says IMDb on the end of the yacht. And your ticket is, they put out these little baseball cards that IMDb, but they're all about movies and certain characters in movies.
Oh, cool.
Like that. So that was your ticket. They gave you the card, and you go in to give your ticket. They gave you a hockey jersey.
What?
Yeah.
But let's go back to the ticket for a second.
Okay.
I was super excited because my ticket was Vader.
Oh.
And I was like, fuck yeah. And they took the ticket.
They took it away?
They collected the ticket.
I thought that you just flashed it.
No, they took it back.
Yeah.
They took my Vader.
I'm hearing
but I
like
got a
actual
hockey jersey.
pain in your voice right now.
Yeah, how great a memento. But I have the hockey jersey.
But what's the hockey jersey?
It's an IMDb hockey jersey, and it says San Diego on the back. It's really nice. Yeah, it's nice.
And so they go, all right, go upstairs, free food, drinks, have a good time, and that's it. So you go upstairs to the very top of this yacht, and they have a street taco bar where you can mix and match whatever you want.
Oh, man.
On the dance floor, they have a
ice cream bar,
homemade ice cream bar, and then a toppings section, which was 2-tier of just everything you could think of. And they're keeping everything cold with cans of nitroglycerin.
Of nitrogen, yeah.
Nitrogen, sorry. They're just...
Nitroglycerin.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Boom. Nitrogen, where throughout the night you just see... You know, like on a winter's night, if you live in a city and you see a street vendor and you see the smoke coming out of the manholes, or the street guy who cooking street meat, all that kind of thing. This is just smoke is just shooting out all over the place every time they open the window to get to the ice cream. The bar, there's open bars and everything, and it's starting to pack in. And the first person that we see outside of Gabrielle is Adam Savage from Mythbusters.
Right. Oh, nice.
So we're seeing him. We're like, oh, it's Adam Savage from Mythbusters. So we're looking, and we're not trying to be pains in the asses and everything.
So we're like, we're going to get that photo before the end of the night.
Yeah, we're not going to do it now.
We're not going to, crowd bomb them.
We're not going to do that. It's like everyone's here to have a good time. We're not going to take photos until we found out the head of IMDb came up on the stage, thanked everybody from coming out, and said, remember, take as many photos as you want, use the hashtag. And then we looked around, and the hashtag is pasted everywhere. For IMDBoat. So we're like, this is purposely there to take photos with everybody that you see. So we're like, okay, game on. And while we're sitting there, Adam Savage kind of looks over and points directly at Matt. And he starts waving, and Matt's like, hey, how's it going, man? So
this is my night.
Right. So we're like,
was he waving to the person behind you?
No, he was looking right at Matt. He's like, hey, man, what's going on? And Matt's like, hey, what's up? So we find out later when we run into Adam Savage. He goes, he looks at Matt and went, oh, my God, I'm so sorry I called you out and pointed you through the crowd, because other people turned to look at Matt. And he's like, you look like one of my friends. And I said, the other guy from Mythbusters. Adam was really cool. We were joking around a little bit, and we took some photos.
Yeah, we got some photos.
A bit nicer. So that happened.
Yep.
And then we saw Nolan Gould, who plays Luke Dunphy on Modern Family.
On Modern Family, yep.
He was really nice. He having a good time.
I like the way that pretty much your Adam Savage story was the equivalent of Bobby Kelly's Not You Seinfeld story.
Yeah.
Except this
Only
worked out.
It
It
worked out.
DJ Quails.
Yes, DJ Quails was there.
I know him as the younger brother on Jim Jeffries Legit, but he was in.
What was that movie? Oh God, we just had it on the tip of my tongue.
It's one of those college movies. It wasn't Road Trip.
Was it The Freshman? He was in Road Trip too, though.
He was in Road Trip?
I think he was, yeah.
Well, if you look him up, he's in a lot of different things. Jeff Probst was there.
Okay, nice.
You know him from Survivor.
This guy, you know that guy.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, the new guy was the name of the movie.
The new guy,
yeah.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of.
Very recognizable guy.
Very recognizable
Jeff
guy.
Probst was there, having a good time. Oh, we ran into Matt and Chris, the founders of Loot Crate.
That's right.
We talked to them for a tiny bit.
Good guys.
And then we see the crowd changing in and out, and nothing's going on for a while. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go find the bathroom and everything. So I'm gonna go downstairs, and we had a bag with us. So Matt's gonna just finish his drink, watch the bag. I'll come back up because I thought that top tier is where everybody was hanging out. So I walk down to the next level to go to the bathroom, and I text Matt, grab your bag, get down here. Stan Lee. So Stan Lee's just sitting there on a couch. You got to say hi to him, but we couldn't get.
We're gonna get the picture.
Man.
Yeah.
Did they say just no pictures because he'd be swamped?
Yeah, he was with his he was with his publicist, and there was a security staff, and they were like, "Look, we can't." They were like, "Thank you for asking. We just can't right now." And then
they were polite about it, and we didn't want to be jerks.
I get it.
Okay. But on the other hand, the guy's a legend, and he doesn't have much time left.
Yeah, this might be my shot.
He's in his 90s, and you're like, this might be the only time I get to see him.
He's the legend of the industry.
Yeah, and you're like, but it didn't work out that way.
But you got to meet him, shake his hand, I'd imagine.
I got to say hi to him. He was sitting on a couch, and when I went over, I was like, hello, Mr. Lee. And he was very cordial, hi. And then by the time Matt got down there, there was such a wall of people that Matt didn't get like any kind of one-on-one with the guy.
That's all right.
But we do a 360, and in the corner we see our pal Kevin Smith.
Right.
Oh,
So
great.
we walk over there. He's there with his daughter Harley.
Harley was there, yeah.
They're doing the big promotional tour for Yoga Hosers. And we didn't want to bother her because I don't know if she looked uncomfortable or just didn't want to, whatever. But she was there with her mom. So we're like, all right, that's fine. We won't say anything. We see Kevin and we go to say hi. He recognizes Matt because Matt works with Big Kev. And Big Kev has known Kevin Smith for many years.
Everybody recognizing Matt.
Yeah,
I know, Matt.
I don't know why.
Matt's
I'll take
a big
it,
celebrity out here.
I'll take it.
It should be called It's Matt Cipoletti. And then Kevin sees me, comes over, gives me a big hug. He's like, how you guys doing? Great. And he was running. He had to go do something with Stan, big photo opportunity that they had there. And so Kevin said he's going to be in New York soon for Yoga Hoser, so hopefully we can do something with him. Kevin was great. We see the photo opportunities going on with the celebrities, and then that ends, and we're like, all right, I guess that's everything. We should just go. Let's go find a restaurant and go get something to eat.
One more. We ran into a couple other people. We ran into the guys from Impractical Jokers again, who are now like BFFs with us.
That was at the end.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that was at the end.
He's building up to something here.
So then we go
My
down
apologies.
one more tier. We're like, oh, we go here.
Yeah.
And then we're like, what's over there?
What's over
Oh,
there?
look, there's a big Ash vs. Evil Dead cutout. And then there's another IMDb photo opportunity section. And Matt sees the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Right? What is it called?
It's the Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. And Matt goes, oh my God. And he's like, oh, it's a prop for the photos. I go, Matt, you can pick it up. It's a prop for the photos.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to go over there. I'm like, pick it up here. Let's take the photo here. So Matt's like, oh, okay. Do you have the photo?
Yeah.
You want to show him?
Look at that. There you are.
So there
Look
he
at
is,
the
he's
face.
holding
The
it.
face is perfect in that
Of
picture. I
course.
hope you posted that.
I haven't yet. It's coming. It's coming.
Look for Geek Stuff OG on Instagram to see that photo. So then we turn around, and all this amazing movie memorabilia is throughout this floor.
The chess set from Blade Runner, the Golden Idol from Temple of Doom.
With a bag of sand next to it.
With a bag of sand next to it.
Captain Kirk's original chair
From
is
the
there.
OG series. One of the gloves from Hellboy.
Yep, that was in there.
Nice.
All this
the gun from Fifth Element. Yeah.
all this
Cool.
incredible stuff. And on the other side, there was some Walking Dead stuff. And then there's this big red curtain. And I'm like, I want to see what's behind the curtain here. And they turned the yacht into an office. So everything Kevin was doing, interviews and stuff here at Comic Con for IMDb, was all being worked on and edited in their studio on the yacht.
What?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had little cubicles and they had everything. They were
It was
doing
intense,
all
man.
And this is when I said, Matt, we will never know this amount of money in our life.
Yeah.
To have everything like this on one boat.
I feel
It's
Richard
insane.
just having stepped foot on the yacht.
So then we finally we're going to leave. And we're like, okay, let's get out of here. And earlier, we'll play a little bit later in the show, but earlier we talked to the guys from Impractical Jokers,
Right.
Sans
Quinn.
Brian Quinn, because he blew us off to go to the Rick and Morty panel, which I don't blame him. And we're walking back, and Matt's elbowing me. I go, what? He goes, there's Quinn. And I turn, and there's Quinn in the corner. So we're like, let's go give him shit. So we walk over. We're like, and we look at him, and he looks at us, and I go, what happened to you? He goes, dude, I'm so sorry. I had to go to Rick and Morty. And then he told Brian, he goes, forgive me, I'm 4 beers in.
Yeah, and we've had Quinn on the show before. I mean, he's talked to us before, I think on the phone and live in studio once. So, I mean, we know him. We were comfortable enough to go and bust his balls a little bit. But he was gracious and lovely as always.
We had a great time. Then the other guys from Practical Jokers showed up, and they want to revisit getting Tell 'em Steve Dave on the Opie Radio channel.
On the
again.
Opie Radio.
We
so.
tried before, and then communication kind of broke down, but they put me in touch with somebody else who also wants this to happen. So who knows, by the time this airs, or maybe in the immediate future, we could have Tell 'em Steve Dave as a regular fixture on the Opie Radio channel.
That would be great.
Now,
considering.
What?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, considering
I was going
what?
to say, considering I think Brian Johnson is the one guest outside of Brian Shea who has been on It's Eric Nagel the most. You
Yes.
guys are neck and neck, I think.
Oh boy, that's why I'm here.
It's the
I flew out to
Bryans.
San Diego to try to compete with him.
So they were revisiting the idea, and they're like, well, how does it work? And I explained what we do with some of the shows. He goes, well, what if we want to come do it live? I said, yes, we would definitely blow out everything to have you guys and come do special. They want to do special satellite editions of Tell 'em Steve Dave. so they can actually take phone calls and interact with their audience and everything.
Of course.
I said, absolutely, I'll sign anything to get this done.
As long as we put into their deal that I get to sit in every once in a while, I'm totally down.
So hopefully that works out. Well, who knows? But that was a nice little surprise to find.
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
So we talked to those guys. We left to go eat, and I don't know if there's any parties left to go to on the con. Probably not.
I don't think so.
So
not for us, at least.
We had a good time with all the parties. Again,
we did.
Thank you not only for some of the guest bookings, but for getting us into the IMDb party. We got to thank Roland once again. I don't know. It's amazing. Everybody always underestimates Roland because Roland doesn't like to dress up at all. Roland will fall asleep just sitting in a chair during an important meeting or a movie screening or whatever. He'll eat whatever he wants. He'll drink whatever he wants. He doesn't care.
He's
just
unassuming.
Enjoying himself.
Sure.
But you always underestimate Roland because you never know who he knows and who he's friends with. And then one day he calls you up and tells you, hey, this is happening. And you're like, oh, my God. And he pulls off feats that other people who are talent bookers in other companies couldn't get. Like he's worked some things that other radio stations or other TV stations are like, how did they go and come do the Opie and Anthony show and they did not come and do us? Roland Campos.
Yeah, man.
That's where it comes down to. So thank you so much to Roland there. We should get on to another interview.
Yeah.
Here. And I believe we should go and do an Impractical Jokers now because it ties into the party.
Just talked about that.
Just talked about that. We got a chance to talk with Sal, Joe, and Murr because Quinn wasn't there. Apparently, Murr has some severe candy issues when it comes to Twizzlers versus Red Vines. Like there's some I get upset over certain little things.
He got surly.
But you know what? He had a valid point, and we broke it down like men.
That's
and
right.
We discussed it, and we came to the conclusion that they're both good for certain things.
Sure.
But he still thinks Red Vines are better than Twizzlers. And that might be the case. We don't know. But we go and we join the Impractical Jokers over at the Hard Rock Hotel. Talk about they're in the middle of season 5. It just was announced before Comic-Con that they got picked up for season 6.
Yep.
They have the big block party going on at Petco Stadium, which there's hundreds of people there. There's a Wheel of Death or a Wheel of Doom that you can see pretty blatantly from there. And all the invitation says is like, don't worry about it, we'll explain it later. So if that's not an incentive to go check out their block party, I don't know what is. But for now, let's go and talk to the guys from the Impractical Jokers. Here we go at San Diego Comic Con. We're not on the floor, we're not in a hotel suite. It's almost like a boardroom.
I feel
Matt?
very important for the first time during Comic-Con.
Well, I feel like we should be doing like a merger and acquisition here or something like that.
Yes, we are negotiating for the rights of the Impractical Jokers here.
Picking this up, is that bad?
Yeah, usually a fan doesn't work on the radio, especially to two countries, but that's totally fine. We're not very professional. We're here with the Impractical Jokers. Your stuff is everywhere. You're all over buses. You have a big block party tomorrow here at San Diego, which is going to be mobbed. You're currently in the middle of season 5. Season 6 just got announced.
Yep.
What more can you guys do?
James?
We could Everest. None of us have done yet. I mean, that's the ultimate Kilimanjaro. But we were hoping one day to do a movie, and that would be wild. We tour all the time. We're touring internationally. That's gonna be fun.
We saw some stuff online. I don't know how it came up. It was one of those suggested YouTube things on the side. The European crowds are going nuts for you guys.
It's crazy over there. Yeah, we've been fortunate enough to be playing over in the UK, and there's just been such a great response from all the fans over there.
You're like a band now when they say, no, we're big in Japan, when no one in America's heard of them.
Yeah, we went over there recently, and I slept with so many men and women.
We're like the Fat Beatles. We're the Feetles.
So let's talk about season 5 before we get into season 6 and the block party and everything else here. What left is there for you to do? Like, what stunts do you have on paper that are like, we're still trying to push this through, legal's not letting it happen, or we've run out of ideas?
That's actually the reason why we don't do most stuff now at this point. It's like, well, legal will never let that happen. Insurance will never cover that. But we always just... After season 1 wrapped, this is true, we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do now, right? We were sitting around.
Season 1 after 16 episodes,
yeah.
And now we're at 130. So we can find a way. We just lock ourselves in a room with the rest of the people that we work with.
Yeah, that's literally how we start the season. We do there's a 5-week period where we just think about creative and just crank out a bunch of ideas.
All right, we do have an idea that we've always wanted to do that we probably can never do. Joe was just telling the story earlier. We want to go to a wedding as a punishment. The loser has to go to a wedding. It's a stranger's wedding.
That's it right there. It's a punishment to go.
You got it.
Yeah.
You know the point where the priest is like, if
Does
you have
anyone
any
here object to this wedding?
Speaking out forever, holy peace. We want the loser to have to get up, interrupt the wedding, object, go into detail as to why he objects, realize he's at the wrong wedding, apologize, and leave.
Yeah. So we thought that is just a little too mean for the bride. We don't want to really ruin someone's day.
Not at all.
No, it's all right.
It's the entertainment industry. There's no boundaries as far as people getting upset.
That's what we've been saying, but the network disagrees.
Right. Well, what if
Marriage is a farce, though.
What if you took it a step further and you get a special guest, female guest, to pull off the prank where she objects and she's holding a kid?
Now you're talking some next level stuff, and I like what you're doing. You want to come? You want to come sit in a room with us for 5 weeks?
Yes, please.
I'd say, what do you do in January to June?
Well, on that point, do you guys get a lot of ideas? Do you get suggestions from fans of the show? You've ever tried to develop?
People give us their suggestions, whether we want to hear them or not, which is the name of the game. They see us on the street like, you should do this, you should do that.
You're like in Weird Al status where everyone's trying to pitch a parody to him and he's like, oh yeah, maybe we'll get to that. I don't know.
I literally on like Facebook and stuff, I'll get a message like, I have the perfect punishment for Sal. Make him hold a cat on a Ferris wheel. And I'm like, okay, like I'm looking for more, and that was it.
That's a good one. Write it down.
Yeah. So it's interesting because people really do get to know us and know what we hate. So it's kind of fun to hear from people, but a lot of ideas. Like I said, we've thought about a lot of different things. So.
All right, fan response. What has been some of the worst fan response that you got? Because I'm sure everyone's like, look at Europe. They came out like droves, like you are, sort of Beatle-esque.
Feetles, please.
Feetles. And,
Let's just stop that. We shouldn't compare ourselves to the Beatles.
No, the Feetles.
Yeah, but that's still a reference to the Beatles. We're nowhere near as popular as the Beatles.
Oh, you're talking about the band?
Yeah.
Oh, we're the Funkies then.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that means the cute one has to die. So you figure out which one that is.
We're more like Foasis.
So what are some of the worst feedback that you've gotten from fans that probably is unwarranted because it's the internet? No matter how good you do something, there's always 100 people out there saying right at the first comment saying you guys are awful. This is a hacky stunt.
I mean, I got some constructive criticism I got as you're a real piece of shit.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Signed, Mom.
No, I mean, you know what's kind of amazing is that maybe it's a combination of I don't look that much, but usually people have nice things to say. I think it's like 90-something% I see positive comments. And the ones that I
Selective reading.
Yeah. The ones I don't, like, if something's really constructive, I actually prefer it. I don't mind seeing criticism at all. We all know what trolls do, but we don't get too many of those.
No, I think I remember the one time we were all surprised by something we didn't see coming because you think about like the jokes you make, and we're like, oh, we can't say the show, whatever. But we actually filmed at a puppy store once. And all these like puppy mill hatred groups like came out and were like, what are you doing? You're endorsing that. We're like, no, we just went to a puppy store. Like, we're not being like, it's right. It's so weird that we got associated with that. And there's a lot of blowback on that. That's one thing that I remind. But that wasn't like even our fault. We just went to a puppy store to work.
That means you're doing
sacrifice that puppy.
That's right. Yeah.
That means you're doing it right.
Yeah, and same thing. We filmed in IKEA in season 1, and all the anti-Swedes came out. Like, how dare you?
Anti-Swede movement.
Huge anti-Swede protests.
That's funny because we're friends with Bill Burr, and he was telling a story on Opie and Jimmy about going over and touring through Europe and playing Norway and Sweden. Didn't realize that they hate each other with a passion. So whenever the set was going a little rough or if they weren't reacting to the material like he felt they should, he'd start calling them, Swedes, or go shop at 7-Eleven, like anything to get the Norwegians pissed off. And then he did it on the other side in Sweden. If they weren't playing along, he'd start going into Norway stuff. And
Do you know what that fight's about between Norway and Sweden?
No.
It's natural resources. It's oil.
It's always oil.
Norway's it's rich in it. Sweden isn't, and they're jealous.
See, I thought it was the rights to Santa. I mean, up there, it's just above the Arctic Circle. Who cares?
No one.
I thought it was over red vines, to be honest.
It's Red Vines versus Twizzler. It's a whole different community over there.
Have you ever thought about maybe bringing an episode home where you're trying to do stuff to your family? Like lighter heart pranks, but do a family special?
We've had our family on the show a bunch. We use them to punish, especially Sal's family. We've used Sal's family against him multiple times. And at this point, they're calling us to see how we can mess up.
I had to stop.
He was an asshole at Thanksgiving. We have an idea.
Yeah,
Keep him on the road for 6 more weeks.
I had to shut it down because they used my mom, my dad, my sister, my niece. It just doesn't stop. And it's not fair because, it crosses a line. Like I don't want to bring.
It's also odd that your whole family is like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll torture my brother. Or I'll torture my
I know.
son.
We tried to get like Murray's family, and they always turn us down.
We have one idea we haven't done yet, where we want, if there's 2 losers of an episode, we want to build a conveyor belt in like a junkyard. You know, like Superman 3, when he turns evil and he fights himself in the junkyard?
Right.
Same thing. We want to have a junkyard, like 2 conveyor belts, and on each conveyor belt is like Sal's niece and Joe's niece. And for every question the uncles get wrong, their nieces move closer and closer to some kind of vat that they fall into.
Again, insurance is giving us a real problem about that one.
Well, here's how you get around it. You just say it's a takeoff of the OK Go video, where they're doing all the
Nice,
stunts on the treadmills right there.
Those guys blow my mind on the regular.
Right.
Oh my
They did that.
The new one.
I
the
hate
one
to
they
say
just-
it's Mousetrap, but Mousetrap's been on that invention where one thing triggers another,
Yeah,
triggers
yeah.
another. Their whole music video, they have 2. It was this one song had 2 different videos, and one was that contraption. I'm forgetting the name of the machine, and probably a bunch of nerds out there yelling at me because I should know it. But they did the whole video in one shot. They started, let it go. It was in a warehouse,
Yeah.
and you follow the whole video while the song's playing, and it goes through each compartment of there, and to the very end, timed out perfectly. when
The
song was
latest
done.
one blew my balls off when they did the zero gravity. Did you see that one?
Oh, yes.
They did a zero gravity. They did the whole thing in zero gravity, one shot, and they were like literally like popping like balloons in zero gravity that were filled with paint. It was unbelievable. You should Google it.
It was amazing. I masturbated to that video.
In zero gravity.
Oh, never mind.
But see, that's the great thing when they can figure out, like, well, people may not know us for our music, and if you ask a lot of people, they don't really know who OK Go is. But you said, you know the treadmill video,
Don't know
you
it.
know that, and they're like, oh my God, yes, because it's so huge on YouTube, and that's the way to do things now. Where I want to do this, but maybe I should do these other things
It's a
on the
different way
side
to pull
just to
in an
get
audience.
this going.
Yeah, it pulls in an audience in a different way.
Christmas special.
Thank you. Yes, it was
right.
special. It
Very
was very
much.
special. Yeah, it was my daughter's first Christmas.
As far as pranks, you ever do more of a holiday themed show?
Have we done a Christmas? We haven't done it because we feel like if it airs any other time but Christmas, it'd be weird.
Well, they should have been there for the first time. Now that you're watching it in reruns, and
Right,
you know,
right.
yeah, it's your own fault.
But we do tour. The guys and I do about 80 plus dates a year touring with a live show. It's like 4 of us on stage with mics. It's like our version of stand up. And every year, it's an annual thing. We do a Christmas spectacular. Started last year. We're doing it again this year, all throughout December. Multiple dates, and it's like we bring on 3 or 4 other comics. It's like a mini festival, and it's like Christmas themed, and it's out of control. We did it last year. We had snow machines. We had like a 100-piece choir. Santa's running around the stands. It was really cool.
So why not just film it if you're doing it already? It seems it's a no-brainer.
Well, that's not the show. This is just our live show.
right.
Yeah.
When that first season came out, and you know, sort of new with True TV flipping over to becoming True TV, and you're like, this is great, but like Jackass and some other things, like how long can they go? Not just with stories and ideas, but sometimes the physical toll it'll take on somebody's body. But then each season you watch, it's just like these guys keep finding new and better things to do. And it's like you'd think they'd be either tired of it by now, or it's just like, I think we've taken this as far as we can, and you guys just keep, in a way, reinventing yourself every season.
That's something we said from the beginning, right? We said we'll stop doing this when we literally, we're our own worst critics. We really are. And we'll say when we stop having fun or find it funny, we'll stop doing it. And we've always challenged ourselves to come up with new games and new things. So if you look season to season, we have done like different things to try to keep it fresh.
Yes.
That is very nice of you to say, though. That's a very high compliment.
You just got season 6 announced, and you were in the middle of season 5, by the way, True TV Thursdays at 10 p.m. For what you're doing and the prep time it takes to get everybody on board, and I don't know if you, I don't want to say script it, but like storyboard it, plan it out.
We're scripted, yeah. Everything's heavily thought out that we do.
Right. So to get all that done and to keep it fresh and keep it energetic, and then season after season, going into season 6 is an amazing feat. I mean, I hope you guys take time to reflect on it and go, wow, who would have thought we would got here at this point?
Every day.
Yeah,
Really.
it's so rare in TV. You know, I used to work in TV for many, many years, like in TV development, and to get a show to go to a pilot is incredible odds against you.
Right.
To get to go to series is exponentially more difficult, but then to get to go 2 seasons or 3 seasons is insanely impossible. You know, the odds are so stacked against you. So it is it's mind-blowing and humbling to us that we're still doing it. The best moment for me was the 100th episode last year when you know, we got up to the top of the tightrope, and I was scared to be up that high, but then I looked out and I saw the fans and saw the guys cheering for me, and it was like, I can't believe what we get to do for a living. This is crazy.
When you're not taping this stuff, what's your downtime like?
It's odd because we're like friends. So if we want to hang out with our friends, when we leave work, we go to the people we work with. So literally, there's this one time we were in when Batman vs Superman came out. We were on the road touring, and we literally left the stage, had the car waiting for us, and we went. The van took us right to the movie theater, and we all went to see like a 10:30 show on Thursday night of Batman vs Superman. Yeah. So like it's literally we hang out with our friends. We see each other so much, right?
Yeah.
So it's movies, TV, Netflix stuff, that kind of stuff.
It's the most basic stuff.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like relaxing stuff. There's nothing crazy. Like even when we tour, like a lot of times we get to do meet and greets after. I meet the people that come, and they're always like, "What's going on backstage? What are you guys doing tonight after the show?" And we're like, "We are going directly to the hotel to watch a movie and go to sleep."
That whole lore of it's more fun backstage. And like, because the movies portrayed, there's hot girls and there's great food and there's
that is not us.
One rock star is doing blow with another rock star. It's so
okay. I'll tell you right now.
Way.
There's a crudité and 4 of us staring at our phones.
Although I do blow.
All right,
Kidding. You're kidding.
One of my favorite backstage stories was years ago. NoFX. Got to go see them at the BB King's in Manhattan.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So we go backstage because we just did interviews with them at Sirius XM, and I was like, all right, we'll get a photo.
We apologize for that ringtone that just went off. That was someone that's on our team that they're clearly just got a message that couldn't wait.
Next time, get it on mic. So we get backstage, and right as they're finishing their last song, we're told, oh, they're not doing photos. And we're like, well, we could get the photo. No, they have a car waiting outside. They were going to an S&M club in downtown in the Village. So as soon as they walked off, they threw everything down, bypassed everybody there, got in the car, and they went to this torture club.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow, they didn't even go back and shower? Is that part of the sadistic?
That's the whole thing. Just right off stage into those vans that they had and went downtown.
That's crazy. Yeah, we had a good night that night, though.
Before we go to the block party, what do we expect here? Because this looks huge.
Yeah, it's a big event, actually, at Petco Park from 3 to 8:30, right, on Saturday.
It's going to be thousands of fans. We're going to be there. Karaoke, DJ playing. They're setting up a tightrope so fans can actually try to walk the tightrope like we did.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. They're actually doing some stunts inspired from the show. So there's going to be like sumo wrestling because I had to wrestle like a sumo.
The mechanical bull.
Mechanical bull and stuff. So it's going to be like a fun. We actually tried to bring a little bit of New York, like a New York street fair, to San Diego.
Sausage
so that's what we did. Yeah, there's going to be some food trucks, stuff like that. So
we will have certain plants in the crowd, like passing out Molly on the sly.
yes,
and Beyonce will be there.
Yes, don't miss Beyonce.
If I have to do it, just because I know how this goes. That was a joke.
I was going to say, look for somebody carrying the package of red vines.
Yeah.
He's referring to Beyonce being the joke. But
everything else is true.
All right, well, I stand corrected. Guys, thank you so much. We look forward to the block party. And, whenever you're in New York, it's actually more difficult to get you guys when you're home because you guys are always doing something. But it's glad you guys made the time to talk to us.
Thank you, guys. We would love to link up.
Yeah, come when you're back in New York City, come up to the studios, come hang, and we'll have a good time.
That's great. Thank you so much.
We'll see you at the block party.
All right, great.
It's Eric Nagel at San Diego Comic Con.
We have reached that point of the show where we're done.
Yes.
There's been a lot that has been said. There's a lot that has been done. And there's always more that can be done. And that's what next year is for.
And I suspect there'll still be some stories to tell when we get back live in a couple weeks. So.
Right. So thanks to everybody that we had on the show here, the amazing parties. Brian Shea for sitting in with us in GameInformer.com. Brian Shea on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat.
Yep.
And B. Shea on Xbox if you want to play some games with him when he's on. That's what he does for a living, folks.
Yeah, man.
So if he's up at all hours, it's not like, doesn't this guy have to go to work in the morning? Nope, this is his job. That's the life that Brian lives. So, Brian, thank you so much for sitting in. It's great that you got a chance to actually do a show with us when maybe one day you'll be in New York City and can do the show live with us there.
Yeah, I love being in the studio. So thanks so much for having me. And I'm sure you guys will hear my voice somewhere.
October is New York Comic Con. See if you can work that out.
We will see.
All right. Matt, who do we have to thank?
Everybody.
A lot of people.
We have to thank, of course, the folks at Sirius.
Of course, Opie for again, allowing us to do this on his channel, and Don Wicklin, who helped set up everything with San Diego as far as us getting out here and being allowed to do all this. So thank you so much to Don for his help. Roland Campos for the amazing job that he's done with talent booking, with the parties, with everything that we didn't think that might happen. And it wasn't Roland's fault. It was just the way the con worked out this year. Like, nobody really knew anything going on until after the 4th of July.
Yeah, it was weird.
And that was about 2.5 weeks before the con was supposed to start.
Yeah, booking was a little hard.
And people didn't know, but you didn't know the panels. You didn't know any of this stuff going on. And then within the last 2 weeks, everything just came flooding in. Like, here's everything going on. Good luck.
Right.
It's like 52 card pickup. Grab what you can and see what works out for you.
Quick thank you to George over at October Toys for hooking us up with some sweet Zelda prints.
Oh, nice.
We got to share those.
Okay,
with some
we'll
people.
figure out what to do with those.
I also want to give a quick thank you to all the fans we ran into at the con.
I was amazed. Again, recognized Matt and saw Matt. I wasn't around for most of them, but I saw on Instagram Matt was tagged on a lot of these things, and fans,
because
thank
I'm
you
pretty.
so much.
It's really what it is. We ran into Jung. I want to give a thank you to Jung. He's one of our beer hookups.
Right.
So thank you to him. And man, just a lot of fans. Everybody we ran into was gracious and awesome, and it was just a great time in general.
And thank you for everybody who does take the time to listen to us here on SiriusXM. Downloads the show on demand through the SiriusXM app. Or if you check out some of the interviews that we have over on the YouTube channel, we really appreciate your support and continued to listen to this show if you could.
Sure.
Hopefully we'll be here next year for 2017.
I hope so.
San Diego Comic Con, and I'm sure Conan will have 4 more new Funko Pops that I'll never get that sell for $150 on the floor for some reason. All right, I think that's about it from San Diego Comic Con 2016. Erik, Matt. Till the next time, be seeing you.
I'm gonna jack it where the sun always shines. He's gonna jack it. Been spreading the word and now I need to ease my mind. Jacking it home. Been planting them apple seeds and while the apples grow, I'm gonna go out jacking it in San Diego. Jacking it, jack. Spanking it, jacking it, spanking it, smack. I don't need no shirt, no, gonna take them pants right off. He's about to jack it. On such a bright day, who needs underwear or socks? Jack it, home. Been around God's country, and there's one thing I know. There's no better place for jacking it than San Diego. Jack it, jack. Spanking it, smacking it, smack. Jacking it, jack. Jacking it, spanking it, spanking it, smack. Come to San Diego, there's so much to see. From the sparkling waters of Mission Bay to the warm tortillas of Old Town. And after a day of sightseeing, why not try spanking it in one of our charming city streets? San Diego, come, take a load off. Jacking it, jack. Spanking it, smacking it, smack. Whacking it, whack. Spanking it, jerking it, smacking it, smack. The cars are passing me by, they honk and say hello. Hey, that guy's jacking From his window, there's a guy shooting video of him jacking. And if the good Lord Jesus comes knocking on my door, just tell him that I'm jacking it in San Diego. Jacking it, jack. Spanking it, smacking it, smack. He's about to jack it.
And that's all the time we have.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Follow the show at It's Eric Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The show should be back next week on Opie Radio.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
Sirius XM.
Hustle.